Good day everyone. Today, we will discuss Chapter 12, focusing on two important market structures, monopoly and monopsony. These concepts help us understand how markets function when either a single seller or a single buyer dominates. So let's begin. Monopoly, a market structure where one seller or producer is the sole supplier of a good or service in a market. A monopoly happens when one company controls a whole market with no real competition. Example, Google dominates online searches with over 90% market share, making it hard for others to compete. Monopolies can lead to higher prices, fewer choices, and less innovation if not regulated. There are 8 characteristics of monopoly: sole firm or trader, no substitute products, precise knowledge and profit maximization, stability of production elements, entry constraints, optimum production, price bias, cost determiner. Here are the examples. Sole firm trader, for example, the Google search engine market. Google dominates the search engine industry with over 90% market share. Competitors like Bing and Yahoo exist, but they hold a much smaller percentage. This makes Google the only major player in the market, making it a monopoly in online search. Number 2 is no substitute products. Microsoft Windows, PC operating systems. Most computers run on Windows, and while alternatives like MacOS and Linux exist, they are not widely used in businesses or government offices. This gives Microsoft a monopoly-like hold over the PC operating system market. Next is precise knowledge and profit maximization. For example, pharmaceutical companies patented drugs. When a company develops a new drug, it gets patent preventing others from producing the same medicine. This allows the company to set high prices and maximize profits, as seen with insulin pricing in the US. Next is stability of production elements. For example, the utility companies, electricity, water suppliers. Utility companies have stable sources, equipment, and infrastructure, making it nearly impossible for new competitors to enter the market. They continue to operate with a little competition and maintain long-term stability. Next is entry constraints. The Beers diamond industry. De Beers historically controlled most of the world's diamond supply, restricting new companies from entering the industry. By controlling diamond mines and supply, they maintained a monopoly for many years. Next is optimum production. For example, Amazon, e-commerce and logistics. Amazon has optimized its supply chains, warehouses, and delivery systems to the point where it is hard for competitors to match their efficiency. This gives Amazon an edge in e-commerce and logistics, keeping its market dominance. The next is price bias. Apple's App Store, 30% commissions fees. Apple's App Store charges developers a 30% fee for in-app purchases, and since Apple controls the only app marketplace for iPhones, developers have no choice but to comply. This pricing bias benefits Apple significantly. The last one is cost determiner. For example, OPEC, oil producing countries. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, controls oil production levels, directly influencing global oil prices by increasing or decreasing supply. OPEC determines the cost of oil worldwide. Each of these examples shows how monopolies function in different industries, affecting prices, competition, and consumer choice. There are 4 types of monopoly. The first one is natural monopoly. A single firm provides a service more efficiently than multiple firms. The second one is government monopoly. The government grants exclusive rights to a company. The third one is technological monopoly. A company holds exclusive rights to technology. The fourth one is monopoly power. A firm sets prices without worrying about competition. Here are the example of types of monopoly. The natural monopoly, for example, the electricity supply. The geographical monopoly, a gas station in a remote area. Technological monopoly, Google dominating search engines. Fourth one is government monopoly, government-run postal services. Disadvantages of monopolies. First one is higher prices for consumers. For example, pharmaceutical companies. Some drug companies hold patents on life-saving medicines and change very high prices because there are no competitors. Second one is less incentive to cut cost. Utility companies, electricity and water suppliers often have no competitors, so they may not focus on reducing cost, making services expensive. The third one is less incentive to innovate. For example, Microsoft Windows, since Windows dominates the PC operating system market, major updates and innovation happen slowly compared to competitors. The fourth is allocative inefficiency. For example, cable TV providers, cable companies charge high prices for packages because they control access even if the actual service cost is much lower. The fifth one is decline in consumer surplus. For example, Apple's App Store. Apple's 30% commission on apps forces developers to raise prices, making apps and more expensive for users. Six is productive inefficiency. For example, government postal services. Some government-run postal services operate inefficiently because they don't have competition pushing them to improve. 7. Potential diseconomies of scales. For example, big airlines like British Airways or American Airlines may struggle with delays and inefficiency due to their massive size. 8. Monopoly power over workers. Amazon warehouses. Amazon warehouse workers sometimes face tough conditions because Amazon dominates the online shopping and logistics industry. 9. Political influence. For example, oil companies. OPEC controls production worldwide and can influence governments by raising or lowering oil supply. Last one is less consumer choice. Internet providers. In many areas, only one internet provider is available, forcing people to use their services even if they expensive or slow. The advantages of monopolies. First one is economies of scale, lower cost. If, for example, Walmart buys products in huge quantities, lowering cost and offering lower prices than small stores. Second one is high profits for research and development. For example, Tesla. Tesla uses its profits to invest new battery technology and electric cars, improving efficiency. Third one is patents encourage innovation. For example, pharmaceutical companies, Pfizer developed new medicine like COVID-19 vaccine because patents protect their research investments. Next is successful and efficient firms. For example, Google. Google dominates search engine because it provides fast, accurate results, making it highly efficient. The last one is government regulation. For example, utility companies. Governments regulate electricity and water providers to ensure fair pricing while keeping costs low. These examples show how monopolies can both help and harm consumers depending on the situation. Monopsony, a market dominated by a single buyer. For example, if the government is the sole buyer of military equipment, it can dictate prices to suppliers. There are four characteristics of monopsony. First one is single buyer. Second, no alternatives. Third one is large number of sellers. The last one is barriers to entry. Here are the example. Example for single buyer is government defense contract. The military is often the only buyer of a fighter jet, so companies like Lockheed Martin rely on the government to purchase their products. For example, in the no alternatives is public water supply. In many cities, there is only one water provider and people have no other option for clean water. Example for large number of sellers is agriculture, farmers selling to supermarkets. Farmers grow crops but they must sell to big supermarkets that control prices as there are few large buyers. Example of barriers to entry is pharmaceutical industry. Companies like Pfizer spend millions to develop medicines and strict regulations make it hard for new businesses to enter the market. Monopsony in labor markets. If the government sets a higher minimum wage like raising it from $10 to $15 per hour, some business like fast food restaurants hire fewer workers because they can't afford to pay everyone more. As a result, more people want jobs because of the higher pay. Business hire fewer workers to save money. Some people lose jobs or get fewer work hours. This means some workers who would have been happy earning $10 per hour can't find job anymore. This graph shows the effect of a minimum wage on the labor market. The blue lines represent the supply, workers willing to work, and demand, employers hiring for labor. The intersection of these lines is the market equilibrium, where wages and employment naturally balance. A minimum wage, red dashed line, is set above the equilibrium wage. Because of this, more workers want jobs higher supply, but fewer employers are willing to hire lower demand. This leads to employment gap between supply and demand at the new wage. It shows the decline of the real inflation-adjusted minimum wage from its peak in the 1960s and 1970s, around $12 to about $7 to $8 in 2020, far below the hypothetical $15 wage marked by the real dashed line. The right chart illustrates wage distribution among different workers groups, showing that 42% of non-college workers, 29% of all workers, and 11% of college graduates earn below $15 per hour. This highlights the growing gap in earnings based on education and suggests that many workers, particularly those without a college degree, would be affected by changes in the minimum wage. The benefits of monopsony for consumer, explaining that monopsony power can lead to lower prices for consumers as large buyers like supermarkets negotiate better deals from suppliers. It also emphasizes improved value for money using the examples of the UK NHS, which leverages its purchasing power to reduce drug costs, ultimately allowing for more treatments within the same budget. Additionally, a monopolist can counteract monopoly power, ensuring that dominant sellers do not exploit consumers by keeping prices fair and competitive. One of the real-life example of monopsony in the UK National Health Service, the National Health Service is the only big buyer of medicines in the UK, so drug companies have to sell them at lower prices. This helps the NHS save money and provide more treatments to more people. Another example is Walmart, which buys huge amounts of products from suppliers. Since Walmart is a major customer, suppliers agree to sell at lower price. Walmart then sells these products cheaper to customers, helping people save money. There are ways the government can regulate and reduce monopoly power. These include antitrust laws which prevent companies from becoming too dominant in labor markets, minimum wage laws ensuring fair pay for workers, collective bargaining, allowing workers to negotiate better wages and conditions through unions, and investment in education and training, which helps workers gain skills and have more job opportunities, reducing this dependence on a single employer. For example, where fast food workers, such as those at McDonald's, often face limited job options within their industry. Employers can set wages due to the lack of competition, demonstrating how monopoly power can affect workers' pay and working conditions. So, monopoly and monopsony are both market structures where a single entity holds significant power, but they operate on opposite sides of the market. A monopoly occurs when one seller dominates the market, limiting consumer choices and often leading to higher prices. In contrast, a monopsony exists when a single buyer controls the market, allowing them to push prices down, often affecting suppliers or workers. While monopolies can harm consumers by restricting competition, monopsonies can negatively impact wages and suppliers by limiting alternatives. Governments often regulate both to prevent unfair practices and ensure a balanced economy. By understanding these concepts help us in shaping policies that promote fair competition and economy's efficiency. So, that's all. Thank you.